Greetings. One of the greatest gifts St. Ignatius offers to the Church, and the Church today, is the discernment of spirits. And today I would like to take you through a meditation called the Meditation on Two Standards, which shows us how the Lord leads us towards Him, towards His Sacred Heart, and how Satan, on the other hand, is trying to lead us to Him. St. Ignatius calls the meditation a meditation on two standards, because a standard in the old traditional skirmish and battle was the flag, the rallying flag, under which one fought. So in the skirmish, to know which side you were on and where your fellow men were, you would look for the flag, the standard bearer, and stay behind the flag. And if someone dropped the flag, if they got hurt or killed, you would grab the flag and keep it going. So and St. Ignatius takes that imagery, that battle imagery, to say that the spiritual life is a battle, and you and I have to choose which standard we're going to be under, whether it's going to be under Satan's standard or under Christ's standard. Christ also has a standard. We see the resurrected Christ, by the way, often with a banner, shown with depicted with a banner, inviting us to follow Him. He says we start with a meditation of imagine Satan on this tall, immense throne with fire and smoke around. It's kind of this ugly but sensually impressive Satan, who's an imposing figure, evil figure, and he's summoning innumerable demons to go throughout the world to tempt men and women like ourselves, to lead them under his standard. And he says to these demons, he delivers a harangue, this vitriolic, evil speech to them, saying, I want you to tempt these people. Consider the address he makes to them, how he admonishes them, these demons, to set up snares and chains. Notice how sin always enchains us, huh? Christ says, he who sins is a slave of sin. How first they should tempt people to covet riches, as he usually does, at least in most cases. We should, so Satan first works with tempting us and having the demons tempt us to cover riches. That is, riches, any sensual experience of coveting things, looking for creature comforts. Looking for creature comforts. We should covet those, not just appreciate them, but covet them. Get them to covet those things, human beings, so that they may more easily come to vain honor from the world, and finally to surging pride. In this way, the first step is riches, the second is honor, and the third is pride. And from these steps, the enemy entices them to all the other vices. So, what a great insight on Satan, on Ignatius's part about Satan. That Satan and all demons, all forms of temptations, they start with creature comforts. You and I are led to an excessive desire for creature comforts, always looking for our comforts, whatever it be. It could be alcohol or sex or drugs or just physical things. I'm always looking for more things that please me, or kinds of foods, rich foods, whatever it could be, a whole variety of things. Creature comforts, my first desire. I want to covet them, and then once I receive a certain number of them, I will receive the empty or vain honor of the world. People will think highly of me. And that's the second temptation. So the first leads to the second. And once I receive the empty honors of the world and people admire me for my fancy car, all the things that I have, then that'll lead me to pride, where I really don't need other people and I don't even need God. And now I'm completely under Satan's standard. So sensuality leads to vanity, which leads to pride. Consider then how Christ our Lord takes his place, not on some lofty throne filled with fire and smoke, but in the great plain around Jerusalem, in an area which is lowly, beautiful, and attractive. The Lord takes the lower spot. Consider how the Lord of all the world chooses so many persons, apostles, disciples, and the like. So the Lord chooses apostles to do his bidding, his disciples like you and me. He sends them throughout the whole world to spread his doctrine among people of every state and condition. What is Christ's address to them? How is he going to lead people under his standard? Ignatius has this wonderful insight. Consider the address that Christ our Lord makes to all his servants and friends, whom he is sending on this expedition. He recommends that they endeavor to aid all persons by attracting them, not binding them, but attracting them first to the most perfect spiritual poverty, which is detachment from all riches, detachment from all creature comforts. And also, if the divine majesties should be served and should wish to choose them for it, even to no less a degree of actual poverty, that encourage them to even desire to live as I lived in actual poverty. And second, so the first one is spiritual poverty or even actual poverty, if God so chooses. We should actually desire. There should be a desire in us to, before we've made a choice of a state in life, there should be a desire to live as Christ lived in actual poverty. But he has to choose us for that state, which would be the religious state. Second, by attracting them to a desire of reproaches and contempt, since from these results humility. In this way, there will be 3 steps. The first, poverty in opposition to riches. The second, reproaches or contempt in opposition to honor from the world. And the third, humility in opposition to pride. Then from these 3 steps, they should induce people to all the other virtues. So the Lord leads in the exact opposite way of Satan. Satan starts with creature comforts. The Lord, on the other hand, says, no, detachment from creature comforts. Satan says, vanity of the world, what people think of you. And Christ says, no, desire some reproaches and misunderstandings and contempt like I've experienced. You and I should have a desire for that. And perhaps the humility prayer would be a great prayer to pray till we can make it our own. And from this, those reproaches that we receive, which won't be many, won't be near what our Lord received, but comes humility. And from humility to all the other virtues. So instead, the opposite of pride, of course, which Satan is leading us towards, is humility. And once we reach that point of humility, after going from spiritual poverty to reproaches and contempt accepted and embraced to humility, we are then indeed under Christ's loving standard. God bless you.